Are you gonna go your entire life never learning to rev match? Don't you want to hear 5 things you should never do in a manual transmission? And not rev matching is number 1. Don't you want to get that sweet, sweet feeling when you're coming into a corner in the wrong gear, and then just at the right time, you smash in the correct one with a rev match, it sounds amazing. Something like this. Best feeling. Let me tell you why this is important. Being able to go from any gear to any gear without upsetting the car is a huge benefit. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd. The car doesn't get upset if you rev match correctly. The reason you must do this, you will destroy your clutch if you do not rev match, especially if you're downshifting aggressively. Say I want 3rd to get up this hill. If I just use the clutch, oh, it has that horrible dragging feeling. The car is braking, it's doing all weird stuff. It's just not nice. So you just gotta learn to rev match. Look guys, I know it's hard at first. It's a really tricky skill to learn, but you've gotta do it if you're gonna enjoy your manual car. It also allows you to go from any gear to any gear. So look, I'm in 5th right now. I can go to 3rd if I want. Just needs a bigger rev match. It also means I can use engine braking more if I want to. So if I'm coming up to a slow car and I want to slow down a little bit, I can lift off, get some engine braking, but I can downshift and rev match and get more, downshift and rev match and get even more. So I'm in so much more control over my engine braking. Look, I'm in 6th right now. I want to be in 3rd. I can be. It's delicious. It's so nice. Once you graduate and you're really good at rev matching, you can go from 6th to 4th without really thinking about it. You can then take it to the next step and also add braking at the same time as your rev match. That's called heel and toe. But don't worry about trying to learn heel and toe first. Just get the rev matches down. Make sure you can go to any gear you want. If you want 2nd right now, you should be able to get to it. People will say rubbish like, oh, this will damage your clutch and whatever. Not doing this will damage your clutch. So I'm about to set off for a big trip and I forgot my USB cable. How am I going to get Android Auto or Apple CarPlay if I don't have my USB cable? Well, today's paid partner, Ottocast, solves this problem. If you have a car with wired CarPlay or Android Auto, or you want some extra features like being able to play videos in your dash, you can. It boots up straight into this interface and you have all your apps. You can play Netflix, Spotify, YouTube. I mean, let's watch a Mick Drives Cars video. Look at this. You can do this while you're driving. Not that you should, but you could. The audio just plays through the car's stereo. Or if you're trying to entertain a passenger, you could let the passenger watch something. And it's incredibly easy to set up. It doesn't need any annoying cables. All it has is this little thing, but you can quite easily hide it if you wanted to. I hate wired CarPlay. Having, cables hanging around your interior. It's just messy. It's just annoying. I don't like that. I like a clean environment. I have an exclusive discount with Ottocast, so use my code MickDrivesCars to get your exclusive discount. Links are in the description. Go and check them out. Let's talk a little bit about selecting the right gear. Because you're driving a manual, that means you choose what gear you're going to be in. Most people do exactly what I'm doing right now. They just follow the car ahead and they choose the highest gear for every situation. Now, if you want the best fuel economy, this is the appropriate gear. 5th at 40 miles an hour gives me 2,000 RPM and I'm just sipping the fuel. It's great. But when I'm coming up to these corners, I want a little bit of performance from my engine. So I'm going to go down a gear. Now I've got a little bit more RPM, I've got a little bit more performance. I can extract what this car can give me. Fair enough, it's an MX-5, it can't give me much, but what it can give me, it will surely try. Look, we've got a 50 mile an hour speed limit. I want a little bit of acceleration, 2nd gear, power. And now I'm going to flip back through the gears until I find the one that's efficient. Because now I'm not enjoying my car anymore. Now I'm just following the car ahead. I'm just commuting. I'm just going wherever I'm going. That's the dynamic in a manual car. It's like having an automatic and shifting between sport and normal and sport and drive. The beauty with a manual is that you're always in sport and you're always in drive because you choose. I think it's such an underappreciated skill. Now, what you should never do is try to accelerate in the wrong gear. If I'm in sixth at 50 miles an hour and I floor the accelerator, it doesn't do much and the car is not happy about it. Even in fifth gear, 40 miles an hour, floor the accelerator, the engine is struggling. Now, if you do this at a low enough RPM, you will get pinging or pre-detonation, which is terrible for your engine. Even when going up hills, drop a cog. Give your engine an easier time getting up that hill. Lugging your engine is really bad. So when you've got a steep hill like this, don't go up to fifth and then try and floor it up here. Your engine doesn't like that. Use those gears. Keep yourself in a healthy part of the power band where your engine is happy and can deliver its best results. Unnecessary wear. I see this all the bloody time and I hate it. Your gear lever is for changing gears. Don't rest your hand on the gear lever for no reason. If this is not your first Mick Drives Cars video, maybe subscribe. And if you like whiteboard segments, give the video a like. This is a car. It doesn't have wheels, so it's easier for me to draw what I'm trying to draw. In here is an engine, usually connected to flywheel, clutch, and that goes into and gearbox, right? That's what it looks like under here. There's an engine, and going this way is a transmission. Usually there's then a drive shaft and a diff, and that goes out to wheels. I've driven a rear-wheel drive car here, but fundamentally a front-wheel drive car is actually very similar. It's just rather than being this way, it's this way. In the interior of the car, you have a little gear knob. In a car of this design, that linkage goes directly into the gearbox. When you move the gear lever, the other side moves the other way. Movement, that little actuation, is moving what is called a shifter fork. The reason you must leave this alone is because your engine is constantly rotating, which is constantly rotating the flywheel, constantly rotating the clutch, the input shaft, and the entire transmission. These gears are moving. This shifter fork is not. So when you rest your hand on that gear lever and you put just a little bit of pressure, what's happening is the side of this shifter fork, there's a little gear there that shifter fork is just gonna nudge. And more importantly than the shifter fork wearing out, you're actually creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of your gearbox's destruction. Because what you have to understand is this gearbox is a sealed unit. When this shifter fork wears down, when this gear wears down, even just a little bit, that material has nowhere to go. What do you think happens when there's little tiny pieces of material, of shifter fork and gears that you've worn down, just circling around in gearboxes, especially with modern gearboxes that are sealed for life or recommend, 100,000 mile oil changes? It's a recipe for disaster. Leave your hand off the gear lever. You're causing enough wear just when you're changing gear. Don't compound these issues and make them worse. The more wear you have, the more the fluid gets contaminated, the faster the gears wear, the faster everything goes to shit. Next to your clutch pedal, there is a dead pedal. Use that for resting your foot when you're not operating the clutch. Gently grazing the clutch is one of the worst things you can do. A lot of people think manual cars have 3 pedals, but really they have 4. And this dead pedal, which is not actually a pedal, is incredibly important. Now, to understand why the clutch and dead pedal situation is so damaging, we first have to understand what actually happens when you press the clutch. And to understand this, we have once again a patented Mick Drives Cars terrible drawing. This is an car engine. These are pistons. They go boom, 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 boom. These are valves in your head that let the air in and out. This is a crankshaft, which is connected to a flywheel. This is an oil pan with oil. Pistons moving up and down is driving this crankshaft around, which is turning this big flywheel. People think this is a clutch. It's not. It's a clutch pedal. It's operating a thing that is a clutch. Now, a clutch disc is actually kind of complicated. This flywheel is just a plain metal surface. To make sense in your head, you can imagine the clutch as a big rubber surface, grippy, sticky. So if this one is spinning and this one is not, when this one is spinning, when they connect, they spin together. It's not rubber, it's an organic material, different metals, don't worry about it. It's a big sticky disc. In order to keep it sandwiched against the flywheel, there has to be something pushing it. You see, the clutch by default is sandwiched against the flywheel. What you're doing when you press the clutch pedal is essentially you're pulling a lever to separate the clutch away from the flywheel. Now the flywheel can spin and the clutch is not spinning. That's why the power doesn't then go all the way through a bunch of stuff to a diff and eventually to a wheel. Because there's a separation here when you press down the clutch pedal. So why is this really dangerous? Well, the thing is, fully pressing down the clutch pedal and fully separating these two is a good thing. Fully letting go of the clutch pedal and fully connecting them is a good thing. The issues come when you're in that halfway house in between area. You push this pedal halfway down when you're using the bite point of the pedal to take off. There is pressure, but there's a mismatch in the speeds, and one of the items has to come up to speed for the other one. And as they do that, as one accelerates to meet the other, they wear. They heat up, they lose material, they wear. So if you're driving along and you are not using that dead pedal, and for whatever reason you're putting even just a little bit of pressure on that clutch pedal, that means you're putting just a little bit of levering force on the clutch disc, which means you're causing a little bit of slip. And slip makes the clutch disc get hot. When the clutch disc gets above a certain temperature, it gets less rubbery, it gets less sticky, which means it slips more and you ruin your clutch. So stop. Just put your foot on the dead pedal. It's not that hard. When you're on a hill, don't do this stupid bouncing thing where you move forward and go back and move forward and go back and move forward and go back. That is like the dumbest thing on planet Earth. Not only are you wearing your clutch 1,000 times more than you need to, but also clutches are designed to be used occasionally and then cool down. What you're doing is heating up your clutch constantly. And when a clutch gets hot, its effectiveness is reduced. Clutches are not great at dissipating heat. So once you've got it hot, it's going to stay hot for a while. So then it's more likely to slip even more. So you're just compounding all these problems. Makes no sense whatsoever. Stop. YouTube really thinks you're going to like this video, but I think this video about driving fast in boring cars could be the perfect watch after this one. My name's Mick. I drive cars. Peace.